Workout paused.
Workout pause. Workout resumed.
Workout resumed.
There we go. Forgot to put in my earbuds. So hopefully you guys can hear me as we go on this afternoon walk. I just ate, and it was good. But tonight I'm going on I start my 36-hour fast, so it's about 6:30. So I ate a little late when I finish that, so I won't eat again until 6:30 on Tuesday. I think, if I got that right, it was 6:30 in the morning. Yeah, Tuesday. I think that's the 36 hours. Math. Okay, so hi, I'm Dave, and I take you guys on these walks with me as I trying to get out of my pity party and get in better shape and better health. So, oh boy, nothing like walking on a full tummy. So, left the house, and my daughter's watching Pitch Perfect. I think it's like part 2 or 3, the one where they get banned and they have to go to Germany and sing. So we were cracking up about that because my daughter wants to study in Germany. It's so much more cost effective to study in Germany, if you can believe it. Even though you pay for your apartment and everything, but just get a degree in Germany is it's crazy how cheap it is. And she might be able to qualify for a scholarship, because it's not something that we're going to be paying for. We will help her, but we're not paying for it, so she needs to understand the value of it. So it's one of those life lessons, which is what I really wanted to talk to you guys about. For those who have children who are either grown up, or like our daughter is 14, teenagers, or if you have little ones, what are you doing to teach your children to be responsible and take responsibility for their actions? Or do you believe that you have to be one of the helicopter parents? There was a time when we were helicopter parents, when she was real little. She had gotten real sick and developed E. coli. Well, she got E. coli, and that turned into HUS, hemoglobin uremic syndrome. So it was touch and go there for a while. So afterwards, we were kind of paranoid, but once we knew she was better and stuff, we started trying to teach her different values, and to take responsibility for her actions, keep her room clean and things like that, and make sure that she does her homework, and if she doesn't understand something, she has to ask. So, but as any other kid does, she has her ups and downs, and then we did notice a couple of years back, I want to say like in the 6th grade, when she went into middle school, she did that flip with school, and after the vid and everything, because that kind of messed her up with math and stuff, with fractions. But after that, it took her a little while, but then she did the flip. So yeah, and it all depends on the teacher. But anyway, she's doing good. So we're teaching her that. So what are you guys doing with your children, or do you have grown kids? How are they doing in the world? Do you guys talk about finances? We do. We talk to our daughter, and we tell her, if you leave the lights on, we have to pay for that, and the electricity costs X amount. So when we have to spend more on electricity, that means we can't spend more towards our investments or savings and things like that, and do things. So I put it in her terms. That means we can't go out and get ice cream, or we can't go to the movies, or you know what I mean, things like that. We explain it so that's in a way that she can understand. And then we say the same thing. Our phones cost this, and luckily she has had the same phone for about 3 years now. She doesn't want to switch it, and she didn't want to switch her last one, but she dropped it by accident and broke the screen, so we had to replace it. But that was also about 3 years old. So she's pretty good at that. She doesn't need the latest and greatest. So we're glad about that. So, but how do you teach? Now let's get away from, still in the subject of kids and stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's not about my daughter or your children or something. But when you notice in society, we have a couple of groups of kids that are been pretty prevalent. We have the ones that have been taught that they need to play the victim of everything, that because of this uncontrolled or bias that's in the society built in, or because of their skin color, or their they don't come from rich families, or their economic backgrounds and things like that, they are the victims. So I believe that we're seeing a shift. I believe that people have gotten tired of this victim mentality, and to blame it on something else, that they want to find a way to take responsibility and to and learn that they can control it. They can control their lives. When that goes along, like with us as an adult, for those who think about wage slavery, and I mentioned this in another video about the words you use is important, and you might have seen it. If not, check down on, it's a few videos down on the list there. It's words matter. So, and they do, because it's this victim mentality it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve me. I played it. I was there. I was in my pity party. I was, I was mad at the world. I was like, it's the world's fault. It's my boss's fault. It's this fault. It's the ladder's fault. It's the roof's fault that I fell. It's that. It's this. Well, that didn't do me any good. Why should I just sit around in my pity party and bitch and moan, complain and moan, that, life has dealt me a bad hand, and wham, wham, wham. Well, you can control it, and I'm learning a lot because of this. It's given me more time with my daughter and with my wife. So, there are good things that have come out of this accident. You have to look at it a certain way, but, you can find the silver lining, or however they go. Look at that sun coming through those clouds. That is just incredible. And you have to be grateful for things. I could have been a lot worse. I could have been in a wheelchair for life. I could have broke my spine, broke my neck, or I could have even have died. And that also scared me. But I didn't. So, yes, I'm going to walk with a limp for the rest of my life. Even though I try to walk without the cane, I might have to have my cane for the rest of my life. We'll see how that goes. I'm optimistic still on that. And then, what about my health? Am I going to be able to fix the plaque in my arteries? I think so. Am I going to get down to 10%? Yes, I am. So am I going to build really muscles so that I become a tall glass of water when the ladies walk by? Maybe not. Anyway, so yeah, definitely. So you want to teach your kids to take responsibility for their actions. You want to teach them to become self-sufficient. You don't want adult kids that are always asking you for money, or always have problems that they need you to solve. And things like that. We have to teach them how much things cost, so that they know the value of stuff. Teach them how much that, okay, if they want to quit school, sure they can, but they need to have figure out some type of skill set that's going to pay them a decent living. Maybe if they do like not prompt and become an engineer, prompt for AI, or no code engineering for different automations, things like that. Editing, editing pays real well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that they can do, and they should learn how to do something like that if they don't want to go and learn a career. Now that doesn't mean go to college and do gender studies, or a Bachelor of Arts in ancient history art, or things like that, unless they want to become an archaeologist, or if they want to actually do something that they can get a career at doing. I'm not saying that the other things, except for gender studies, that's a BS career. That's just wasting money. But that's my 2 cents. Sorry if one of your kids are taking that, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's get off that subject. But so teach your kids, and be the example. Like I had to learn. I wasn't taught. I came from a military family. My dad was in the military. My uncles were all in the military. My grandfather was all military. So we learned how to be a soldier, and we learned how to do that stuff and fall in line and everything. And I went in, I jumped out of airplanes, I became a forward observer, I called in airstrikes and artillery rounds. That was cool. But I didn't know anything about finances. I got credit cards when I was in the military. I ran them up. Oh, you got to pay this stuff back? Well, yeah. And then, oh, yeah, I'll just pay the minimum. They want you to pay the minimum. Because then they got you forever. You're just paying the interest, and it keeps growing. So learn financing. I had to do that. So now we've got different accounts. We've got that. I've set up a custodial account for our daughter, so that she'll be able to use when she's retired. It's set up so that she can take it, I think, at 59. It's like a IRA type thing. And so, but I had to go in and I had to learn this so that I can teach her. And we're working on that. So hopefully you guys are doing that too. Hopefully you know that the way we're learning is that, yes, we can't go out and buy a Escalade or something like that, but we don't need it. It'd be nice to have it, maybe one day, if we have the different businesses going up or anything, but we'll see about that. But we want to be able to teach this and spread it to our daughters so that they become, and our sons, if you have sons and stuff, our children, so that they become reliant. They don't have to wait for handouts or anything like that. All right, that was just my little rant for the day. I thank you for joining us. I forgot to say like and subscribe and leave a comment and all that stuff, but thank you. Oh, you guys have been awesome with your comments. I really appreciate that. So I'll end it there, and I wish you guys all a blessed day. God bless. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.